The first post game of the season, if this counts as the season.
It does.
I feel like we get to say hockey is back 3 times every year because the rookie face-off, then preseason game 1, hockey's back again, and then hockey's real back for regular season game 1.
Yeah, it's now that I'm thinking about it, it's too bad that Colorado and Utah don't open against each other in the regular season.
Yeah,
because we got they open against each other in the rookie showcase and in the preseason. Yep. They played twice in one day to open the preseason next Sunday. So
could have had the trifecta,
right?
Regular season. Too.
Honestly, they really they sold us a little bit short here. We could have really gotten the Rocky Mountain rivalry.
All the way fired up.
Gone from translated from the MLS and started building it in the NHL because last year it sure didn't.
I'm down for a new rivalry. Utah's gonna have to start making the playoffs for that to happen, though. But
yeah, they're gonna have to do a lot more than just be big.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to try getting good.
Good luck to them on that.
Yeah, well, as we saw tonight, they had a stacked roster.
They did.
They had more first and second round picks on the ice tonight than the Avs have even made.
That's actually true. That's crazy.
In the last like 5 years. So I was like bracing for it to look a lot like what the Avs last rookie faceoff game last year looked like against San Jose, where San Jose had all the studs playing and the Avs had the Avs.
And Macklin Celebrini's running around cooking kids.
Everybody was, like Will Smith is out there and Quentin Musty is scoring goals, and you're just like, oh my God, what is this? That did not happen today.
Not at all.
No, the Avs even jumped out to a 2-0 lead.
Yep.
And frankly, the Mammoth like star-studded lineup was kind of a bust for me.
Yeah.
I was pretty underwhelmed. Like
they had that push in the third period, but first and second period, I did not enjoy. Even like someone like Shimasev did not love his game in this one.
They have spent so many of their draft resources, and by so many I mean almost all of them, on targeting size and skill.
Yep.
And we certainly saw the size because they're there.
They are large.
They were present. But the skill didn't show up as much, and Colorado's own emphasis on size with their invites for this roster for this rookie showcase, it was interesting. It was interesting to see, because when we were looking at the rosters, we're like, ahead of time, we're like, geez,
there's a talent gap here,
right? Yeah. And the Avalanche prospect pipeline just can't overcome that. There's nothing they can do about that at this point. It is what it is. But then they got into the game and they played hard, and you had to appreciate they amped up the level of competitiveness.
Yep.
And they made Utah work, and frankly, they outworked a lot of the top guys for the Mammoth. And it was something that new Colorado Eagles head coach Mark Letestu talked about in his interview with us a few minutes ago.
Yep.
That they didn't talk about Utah's lineup. We don't care.
Yeah.
What we care is,
and you shouldn't at an event like this.
For real, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you game planning? Are you matching lines? Stop. He said we really focused our pregame conversations on competitiveness. We wanted to come in and we wanted to play a certain kind of game.
Yep.
And they checked that box. And you're right, it got a little shaky in the third period when the talent started to, they started to tilt it a little bit.
On them a little bit.
But in the end, I mean, you're talking about the Avalanche finished with a 34-23 shot on goal advantage, and
that's effective. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was not the same. Like, it wasn't driven by a lot of power play disparity.
Yep.
Utah had 4 power plays. Colorado had 3. I mean, it was. They were pretty good at 5v5 in the game, and you really had to like that feistiness.
We've talked about what the Avs have targeted for a couple of years now, whether it be prospects or free agent signings or even guys down the lineup, from the top at Brindley, who we'll talk about a ton in a little bit, I'm sure, but all the way down, energy guys. These guys come out there and blow it out every single shift.
Yeah.
They're, like you said, they outworked Utah for the majority of this game. And to be honest, I think that's a really good starting point for an event like this, because you have to show up and you have to show a little bit of that if you're trying to, whatever your next step is, if it's Brindley trying to get into camp and have a good showing and make the NHL at some point, or if you're all the way down at the bottom and you're someone like a Hank Kemp who's skating around running into stuff on a night like tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
I say bottom, he wore the captaincy, so probably not the bottom. But.
There were, well, in like these guys, like Hank Kemp wears the C in this, right? And he gets a lot of minutes, but you know, like he's on an AHL contract.
Yeah.
Like these guys are fighting for just
to be playing pro hockey, essentially.
Right, to get an AHL job. You're like, Hank Kemp is fighting to be a third pair guy for the Eagles, or a call-up from the Grizzlies, from
which
the
it is still the
ECHL.
Grizzlies this year.
I said it and was like, hold on. Yes, no, they're still the Grizzlies. It's still the affiliation. Yeah. So it's a really important thing for them, but also they stacked this roster with in previous years, it was a lot of guys who scored a lot of points as
junior level production players,
as maybe older junior players. They were the like, oh, that guy had 74 points in 58 games in
Brandon
the WHL. You know, you're right. Like guys where you're like, okay, like you box score scout and you look at it and say, okay, well, I don't know anything about Vincent Desjardins.
Right.
But he gets into that game and you're like,
see him pop a little bit.
You see the game play and you're like, okay, you know, very different from like I think it was the first prospect showcase in Vegas. And they brought like a guy that was playing in Canadian Uni. Yeah. And all he did was fight. Yep. And he got out there and I was like, what is even the point of this, man?
Where are you going with this?
Right. And this roster, I feel so much differently about it, because this is a roster where there are guys that play certain styles that fit roles. And they're the roles that the Avalanche have needed.
Bottom six, baby.
And you're looking and you're saying, maybe Gavin Brindley is a guy that's going to break into the NHL and be like a middle six guy for them someday. Not right now.
And that's like the top skill guy that they have.
And that's the best guy that they have.
Exactly.
But a lot of these other guys, you're saying if you're going to do it, you need to be able to win faceoffs. You need to be able to check. You need to be able to play smart, safe hockey.
Got to play on the rest of the ice outside the offensive zone. Yeah.
We saw a little bit. Christian Humphreys is another guy that
got some skill to him.
He's got some skill to him. Lots of mistakes in this game. He takes 2 penalties, gets a little out of control.
One of those was a fake penalty, but
scores very true. That hooking was bad, but also scores a game-winning goal.
True. Yeah.
And so you have to really like this mixture of like they played really hard, and so everything looked like it worked. It made sense.
Yep, I agree. This was a roster that didn't feel like it was thrown together just, hey, let's go to the rookie face-off and field the team and whatever.
Let's fill the bottom of this roster with a bunch of guys that like we have no real interest in. Like we're doing favors for people that we know, for agents, or we know a guy who knows a guy kind of invite.
No, it looked like they actually had something put together. And to be honest, for a rookie face-off game, this was a good game.
It was a really quality hockey game.
Yeah, it was not super junky. Not that, obviously these games matter for the players that are in them and all of that, but a lot of years you go to the rookie face-off and the quality of the actual hockey game is pretty low.
And it's been tough because we all know the Avs prospect pool has not been stacking these rosters for a number of years now.
Yeah.
But it's felt worse because the Avs teams have been so bad for so long. And last year they were a lot more fun. They were competitive. In game one here, just what you want to see out of a rookie showcase roster. They played hard, they played entertaining, they scored some goals, and there were some guys that you thought, I want to see more. I want to see more of this. There's not the 10 of these guys I don't even need to see again feeling like there were in previous years.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of things to be interested in if you're into that side of hockey and where these kids are at.
Yep.
ranging again from top to bottom. We'll go through a bunch of the guys here on the show, but I do think there are a number of interesting things to get into when you look at just today's game. Do you want to start at the top? Should we start at the back end? How do you want to dig through these kids?
We'll start at the back end. The goalies were good.
Yeah. Both of them.
Yeah.
Solid play.
Yeah.
The Avs are pretty set with their goaltending.
Set in net.
Set in net.
It was right there, man.
I know. I missed it. But Minor's pretty clearly their third or their best prospect or whatever you want to categorize him
in North America.
Yeah, and then Nabokov is coming.
Right.
So there just isn't a lot of room for goalies.
Yeah.
Moving forward in Colorado.
Yeah, and Posh was a guy that they gave a deal to last year. They really like him. I talked to some people over the summer that expressed a lot of optimism and said our goalie guys think he could be something. He was solid today.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
And I've never heard of the other kid. He's a QMJHL kid.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you, to be honest. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, don't know anything about him, but hey, he was solid and
got the win.
I think he was a 19-year-old, so you're saying, okay, right now we don't need to sign him to anything, but if we like what we see, he has another good year. Yeah, exactly. You never know. Maybe I think next year is the year that they have 7 picks in the final 3 rounds. Like maybe you just say, hey,
throw one out there for
we
him.
We like this kid, you know? So that's it almost allows them to get a jump on their like late round scouting for next year's draft with some of the invites.
That's true. When you take some of the younger kids, you get that opportunity.
And it is another element of this year's roster that I hadn't touched on, but I did like, is that a lot of 19, 20, 21-year-olds, not some of the, because we've seen
24, 25-year-olds.
Right. We have seen, like, there is a 125-year-old, and he's from Connecticut. Shout out Connecticut. So I'm going to be annoying about New England for the rest of my life. Y'all have to prepare for this. So he's like 25 years old, and he's scored like 6 points in college hockey last year. That's the only guy that you're looking at it with Riley Connors and going, I'm not entirely sure why he's here, but that's, again, box score scouting. I wanted to see it. I actually kind of liked what he did. Yeah. So there, and for the record, very few guys in this game that I felt like, ooh.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I hated anyone on the Avs side. Some of the Utah guys had pretty rough games, I would say.
Which is way more of a disappointment given relative expectations for the groups.
Yeah, agreed. You move up to the defense a little bit. You mentioned it already. Hank Kempf gets the C. Is there any reading into that, or is that just...
Well, I mean, he's a guy that I know I've already started annoying you about. And then this game happened, and I was like, see. No pun intended with us talking about the captaincy.
No,
I do think they have targeted a lot of captains, a lot of college captains in recent years.
Their stature guys for sure.
Look, it makes sense. You want guys that lead. You want guys that approach the day in, day out in a professional way.
Yep.
And it's not hard. How many teams have not just captains, but guys that wear the C, but the A's that come from bottom 6, that come from bottom pairings?
True.
It's a pretty common, the Andrew Coglianos of the world, like guys like that.
Haven't had the royal road to success,
right?
In their careers,
and of course, Cogliano was a first round pick back in the day, but
but that's not what he was as a player.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just mean, like, it's easy to see these are the guys that aren't trying to lie to themselves and say, "Oh, I'm going to be a star. I'm going to be. I'm the man." Right? They're guys that have that quiet confidence that approach the day in, day out with a very professional manner. That's what you want. That's the leadership. And so I do read into it. And they targeted him specifically in the Ryan Lindgren deal. He was a guy that we liked.
Yep.
He was a guy that when Eric and I kind of talked through some of the different angles of that deal, Hank Kemp's addition was one that we both really liked. He was a big fan, having watched him up close. I texted a few people around the league. He's liked. Like Hank Kemp, and then I was surprised he didn't get an NHL deal, but he's on an AHL deal. He's in your organization.
I'm a little surprised too, but yeah.
And they gave him the C in this. They played him a lot. He was like their best penalty killer. He was on all the penalty kills. He was out there to start.
Yep.
He is a guy that this is the kind of performance where you say, I want to see another game. And then I want to see him in main camp. and then I want to see him in a preseason game. Because when you use this is your first opportunity to make them make a decision.
Yep.
And when that decision is, well, we're going to put him back into a lineup for the next day, you've won the day. And that's your goal.
Yeah, and it's the same thing you were talking about of the Avs finding players that fit their need, maybe. Not immediately, but down the line.
Yeah.
Because when you look at their defense, realistically, a Hank Kempf, a Sage Weinstein, you're looking for a defensive D to play in your bottom pairing. You have Makar and Tays up in your lineup. You have Girard. You have a Gulyayev potentially coming for that style of puck-moving defenseman. So you need guys that maybe have a little bit more physicality, maybe fit that defensive role like a Kempf could for them somewhere in the future. Now, is Kempf going to be fighting for an NHL roster spot this season? No, he doesn't even have an NHL contract.
Yeah.
But you have to think a few years in the future when it comes to rookie stuff and prospect stuff.
Yep.
So
and like this Hank Kempf is basically Wyatt Amott.
yeah, rerun it back. Yeah,
and like Wyatt Amott is a guy that we will talk a lot more next week when we get into camp.
Yeah,
he is going to be in the battle for a call-up spot for a defenseman, maybe an 8th defenseman spot if he really plays well. But he's a guy that has slowly gotten better over time, and the Avs like him, and he could be a guy that actually helps the team out this year and makes an impact.
Yep.
Hank Kempf has to be on that same path. It's going to be a slow burn, but this was his first opportunity to really show it with the Avs for this season, and it's a good start for him. It's a good start.
It was a good start.
I could say it's a good start a few more times.
Good start.
There you go.
We're going to take our first break of the show, then we'll talk about some of the bigger names on the other side. But first, we are brought to you by the folks over at Coors Light. Make sure you're choosing chill and go get yourself some ice cold Coors Light. Maybe you were drinking it, watching the rookie face-off stream at home, enjoying life. Fun times. Go get them, or rather don't go get them if you're lazy like me, because you can order it and get it delivered right to your front door online thanks to CoorsLight.com/DNVR and Instacart. So jump in that way. It's a great way to choose chill. But you can also find them in every liquor store in the country if that's your thing and you want to go out and pick some up, whatever you're doing, whether you're grilling, although it has been a little rainy in Colorado the last couple of days. So
You're welcome.
Is grilling season over already? It's only September. Surely there'll be some good grilling days left where you can have
I
some
grilled
Coors
the
Lights.
other day. I mean, it was in Nebraska, but I grilled the other day.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Nebraska is not Colorado. All right.
It feels pretty similar when you're driving through them.
Until you see the mountains.
Yeah. I texted you guys. I was so excited.
You can also see the blue mountains on the Coors Light cans. They turn blue to let you know it's ice cold and ready to drink. Make sure you go over to CoorsLight.com/DNVR and get yourself some Coors Light. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Please drink responsibly. Once you got your Coors Light, or maybe before you get your Coors Light, also head over to Raising Cane's and satisfy your hunger. Jump in with some Raising Cane's chicken fingers today. They've got it all. Hand-battered chicken fingers, cooked to order, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and, of course, the MVP of Cane's, the Cane's sauce. You can also get a bunch of great freshly brewed tea from jugs or freshly squeezed lemonade to keep the squad refreshed. Big plays, big flavor. It's how Cane's does game day. So rally your team and make your next tailgate a touchdown. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. We'll keep working through the defense. One thing I will say,
Distracting.
Colorado Eagles, they might have a little bit of a Bash Brothers thing going on between Weinstein, Kempf, and Cooper Gay. Dude, teams might be getting a little bit run over.
Yeah, and this was the, we've known that there's been a need in the Avalanche organization to develop more physical players, to get some decent size, and to get that, like, especially on the back end, the defensive defenseman. And, I'm talking up Hank Kempf. Sage Weinstein's another guy that we were really curious about coming into this. He signed an ELC 2 years ago as an 18-year-old.
Yep.
And the Avs waited 2 years for him to turn pro.
And now what is the question?
And it's like, okay, now his ELC begins.
Yep.
So he's 3 more years in the organization.
Yep.
And does not have very much puck skill. That is still true. It's really, really limited on that side of the puck.
A lot of flip outs.
But he's a hammer back there. I mean, he loves to hit people, and he has that aggressive mentality. And he's not really big, but he plays big.
Yep.
And he's got good feet.
Yep.
That's a really good combination for a guy that you're trying to project to Colorado. We have seen the Avalanche get by with defensive defensemen that don't do very well with the puck, that can't make very many good plays with it. But if they have good feet and they're smart and they lay the body,
they can find a role. Yeah.
there's going to be a home for them. I mean, I am almost describing Keaton Middleton outside of the feet.
Yeah, feet maybe not that good, but
right. But he's huge and plays a pretty big game. He gets himself into some trouble, but that's next week's conversation.
Yeah.
With Weinstein, you really like a lot of like the raw ability there, and you want to see the number one thing. Okay, you have to continue your physicality, and your feet are going to get you to the NHL. So those have to continue to improve quite a bit. They're not there yet. They're not NHL caliber yet. They're AHL caliber for sure, but they can continue to get better.
Weinstein's 20, not 25.
Exactly. Like you feel like, okay, they've got time with him. I liked him in this. I like the physicality more than pretty much anything else that he did.
I would agree.
But I don't. Another thing, the caliber of play here is like
somewhere between juniors and AHL.
Yeah, and it's not even like high juniors. It's not like you're watching a Memorial Cup game, which are littered with top picks, right? And like great juniors players.
Right.
This is like decent.
Yeah.
Right? With one or two like real studs mixed in here.
There's some of that high end, but
right.
We're talking about a lot of late round draft picks or undrafted kids.
Yeah. And especially for the Avs.
Yeah.
So with Weinstein, you're saying, I want to see how he reads the game. I want to see if he can handle the speed. And that was the number one. I loved his physicality, but I felt very encouraged by the way he processed.
There was no crazy bad reads where he got lit on fire.
There were some guys for the Avs today that I do feel like the speed was overwhelming them. And if this speed is a problem for you,
you're in trouble.
It's you're just not ready for pro hockey. Yeah. And like the guy that I'm thinking about, we'll talk about, but
Max Kern.
Yes. Yeah. He's not turning pro, so it
doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're okay there. You're not throwing a pity party over that pick, but some concerns.
There's some misreads, we'll put it that way.
Yeah. But still on that defense, all of this is like Hank Kempf and Sage Weinstein, but it's really like what's up with Sean Behrens.
The big guy is Sean Behrens. I'll be upfront with you. There was some rust at times during this game, which is understandable for a guy who hasn't played a lot of competitive hockey because of the injury last year.
Yeah.
But he also did score the game-tying goal late in the third period. So there is some positives there. I do want to get into him. Tiff, do we have his sound? Let's hear what Behrens did say after the game.
Awesome. That was a ton of fun. I mean, it's been almost a year, so just be playing again is unreal, and be able to get one's even better. So awesome game, awesome win. It was a grind, but these guys got it done, and really proud of the group and the way they competed today.
Feel good to like shake the rust off just from the summer too?
Yeah, it does. I mean, you could prepare all you want, but getting into a game is always different. It's always a little more competitive, a little more intense. So just being able to get back and have a really good team effort tonight was awesome.
Goal looked like it meant a little bit more just from the celebration.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I scored one of those, so it feels awesome to get one, but still a lot to improve on and a lot of areas to grow, but yeah, good start.
Can you tell me about the momentum shift with that tying goal and then to come back in this game?
Yeah, I mean, just a really good effort by the guys. Puck kind of fell to me and scored, and then right away it seemed like our group got a little jolt and got another one, and then like the 6-on-5 shift before that was unbelievable, hemming them in their zone. So just an unbelievable effort to go down and be able to come back like that.
And a first glimpse at Mark Letestu behind the bench. What kind of coaching feedback was he giving you guys throughout the game?
Yeah, a ton. Just little things, step in, angling guys. He was awesome back there tonight. Kept the group calm. And, I thought the guys did a great job responding to what he was saying.
A lot of size on Utah's side of things. How did you guys control some of that physicality on their end?
I think just with our work ethic, we did a great job on the forecheck, being hard on their D, winning pucks, and I thought that contributed to a lot of our offense and kind of wore them down throughout the game. So, it was a great job by our forwards, putting pressure on them and not really giving them any time and space.
When it comes to the keys to success in this game to replicate going into the rest of this weekend, what do you think brought you this the most?
I just think our work ethic, like exactly what I just said, like our forwards getting in on their D, being hard on the forecheck, and just being able to wear them down as the game went on. And I think in the last 6 minutes that really showed.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Guys.
Thanks, Sean.
So you can see it is still a rookie face-off. You take that with a grain of salt. You take all of our reads out of a game like this with a grain of salt. But for someone like Sean Behrens, you could kind of see, he talked about it. It's a long road to recovery from some of these injuries, especially for a young kid like that.
It's killing me. I don't do this scrums with the microphone thing. This is my first time ever doing it.
Yeah, you used to just use your phone back in the day.
Well, yeah, and then I just stood there. And I didn't move the microphone towards anybody as they were asking a question.
If you watch my interviews from yesterday, I did that and then realized like halfway through, like, oh yeah, right.
Yeah, if we do the Letestu interview, I think I do it once where I went, oh, it was. I'm sorry, not to totally derail. I just watching that was very funny to me. Anyway, yeah, no, with Behrens, the road to recovery, that's a long time missed, 18 months off. We had talked a little bit about it yesterday with the prospect pyramid stuff.
Yeah.
That if they see something they really, really like, they can move Behrens quickly.
Yep.
But there's no pressure.
Yeah.
They just want to see him get healthy. They just want to see him play some pro games.
Yep.
And that's going to be a really competitive Eagles blue line. Now there's a big spot open with no Jacob McDonald, going to miss pretty much the entire season, and that's awful.
Sucks for him.
It's awful for him. It's awful for the Eagles because
he was their rock on their defense for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, coming off a 30-goal season, you're like, okay, well, that's not going to happen again. But
still,
he's such a great leadership component for the team, and that's why he's so valuable for them there. But that's going to be a competitive blue line. There are going to be a lot of jobs up for grabs.
Yeah,
and the pecking order right now, in my opinion, in terms of call-ups,
sure.
Well, Middleton's on the NHL roster, so we're not counting.
He's going to be their 7.
Right. It's probably Wyatt Amott.
I would agree. I don't really know what happens after that.
Right. Like, I don't know where Ronnie Adard is. Yeah. I don't know where Jack Ashawn is. And those are your HL veterans.
You're right.
And so
there's some sort of 9 or 10 unless somebody takes it from them, I guess.
And so I don't think Behrens is going to be in line for it early, but I don't, if he can shake the rust off, and that's what this was all about.
Yeah.
If he can shake off that rust and play the kind of game that we know he can play, he's going to move up there. He's going to move up that quickly. I will say I absolutely loved his competitiveness. I loved that he's coming off a major injury, and that didn't deter him from continuing to just be who he is.
Not to take away from that, but I feel like you could say that about 15 of the Avs dudes tonight.
Yeah, but for a small defenseman, that is one of those things that that's a big selling point for him.
It was a good point. That's who he was before the injury,
right? And
good to see he hadn't lost that for sure.
And it's every player that has ever come off of a major injury will tell you that the trust in whatever got hurt, it takes time to rebuild. And Sean Behrens was just like, I'm doing it.
Yep.
And when you're an undersized defenseman, for you to be that way,
have that mindset a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that. I love that. And there's a reason that we buy so much into Sean Behrens trying to find a way.
Yep. Agree. It's hopefully he can get there and take those next steps, but it's honestly probably one of the more excited guys I am about watching the AHL this year, just to see where he's at and where he can get to.
Yeah.
So there are plenty of forward guys, unless there's any other D you want to touch on.
Important to mention, Linus Funk got hurt.
Did not finish the game. Fair.
Letestu said he had an upper body injury, and he's going to meet with the doctors, and we'll just see.
So who knows?
He kind of was like, it's really tough for that kid for it to happen like the first day.
Yeah.
But he also smiled and said he's going to have a lot of these games. Like, he's young.
It's not like he got shredded or anything.
Yeah. So. And it's not like he's 25.
Yeah.
And this is like it for him, you know? Like he's going
to go over for the first time, I suppose, to London.
Yeah.
Assuming there's nothing serious there, then not too worried about it. But
I know Kelly had 2 assists. There were some good and some bad for a guy who didn't play very much at all last year. Yep. I'm intrigued. I just think that there's not a standout trait there that I saw. And okay, I didn't think it was bad. I was really curious also about Gagne, because this was a guy that was drafted by Tampa Bay, not signed, and the Avs gave a deal to. Okay. Let's see what he has. Well, he's listed at 6'5". There was a conversation going on.
I don't think he's actually 6'5".
Media Row had a nice spirited discussion about whether he was 6'5" or not. I think he's closer to 6'5" than some of you guys were giving him credit, but
I'd give him 6'3" for sure.
I mean, at that point,
what's an extra inch or two? Yeah.
that's right. That's how you make a Tinder profile.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that's. I wanted to see more physicality from him. Didn't see a lot of it, but I thought he used the reach really effectively. I think what I'm concerned about is that I think he's gotten really good at using his reach because he gets beat wide a lot. And I'm not sure that the feet play. And that makes me nervous.
First period early in the game, too, I think he had a couple of nice reads in the O-zone, which I like to see. But the feet are going to have to be better if you're talking about him as a legitimate NHL opportunity guy. You just can't get beat wide.
Yeah.
You just cannot.
And if you're getting beat wide at this level, you're in real trouble.
Yep.
Like that's he's on a path to being one of the first cuts at Avalanche camp if that kind of thing continues.
Right.
We're not putting anybody on the roster after one rookie showcase game.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to take a guy off either.
I agree, but you know that internally they're watching these games and they're taking notes.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. So there's a lot of more work for him to do than some of the other guys.
For sure. Moving into the forward core, we had him in tier 6, but let's talk about, actually, before we do that, let's talk about our break. Get this out of the way. Well, we were talking about a couple of extra inches. How about the chicken and pickle?
I drove by it this morning on my way to Buc-ee's, and I was like, oh, cool. That looks fun.
They'll make sure your pickles have a couple extra inches on it. And I mean the food. Don't go crazy. Their pickles are delicious, though. As the guy on the show who likes pickles, their pickles are good. They also have great chicken, a bunch of amazing different foods, and you can play some pickleball over there. A bunch of pickleball courts to play on. They have 50 TVs inside if you want to watch the game over there. They even do brunch. So jump in with chicken and pickle. They have indoor and outdoor pickleball courts if you're like me and believe all sports should be played indoors. You could do that. If you're like everybody else and think the elements are part of sports, you can do that. Either way, it works out with Chicken and Pickle. They have other fun games. They're super family-friendly, too. They have giant Jenga, giant battleship, cornhole, and more. So go out there for a great meal and a good old time. You can visit the Chicken and Pickle at 14225 Lincoln Street in Thornton. They have a couple of other locations, too. They offer great food, cold drinks, and lots of fun. Jump in. You can go to chickenandpickle.com to plan your visit today. Once you've got your meal from Chicken and Pickle, you probably need a way to get there and to get home. And that's where the official vehicle of DNVR comes in with Toyota. They have a vehicle for everybody, 17 different all-wheel drive vehicles. So if the rain pops off, you can trust your wheels on the road to make sure you can get where you're going, or you can go off-roading and have fun that way. And they'll save you when your commute is 45 minutes from the bar down to the rookie face-offs like Tiff is. You're going to want a low-emission or zero-emission vehicle. They even have hybrid trucks like the Tundra iForce Max. So whatever vehicle you're looking for, visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you, including AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe and Centennial, Corbin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mount States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West End Lakewood. Again, Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Let's jump into the forward conversation. Tier 6 on our list, Cooper Gay. Shows up today and trying to keep things on balance. I do think there's still a lot of question marks about his puck skill ability as a forward. But you saw him show up, be a large human being, yeet a man into the Avs bench, and then spend the rest of the night using his physicality down in board battles, chasing pucks in the offensive zone, pushing to get to the net front areas, nearly tipped the puck in on the power play for the Avs early in the game. Is there stuff to work on? Yes. But when you are asking a guy to know who they are, Cooper Gay clearly knew what he was doing today.
And we had an idea of that yesterday when we talked to him.
Yeah, he said a few things, about having to fight.
Yeah, which was funny because then it was like, do you fight a lot? And he was like,
no.
I fought twice. Okay, guy. It was fun. Obviously, he smokes a guy into the bench, but then he follows through with it.
Yep.
And he
pushes
was
him all the way in.
He was like, no, you live there now. Just buried him, right? That was fun.
Yep.
But I think it's all the actual like meaningful stuff that he does that got me feeling way better about that deal. And again, this is the season for massive overreactions.
I mean, sure, pop off.
And so for me, I felt not good coming in. Much better now, but also like, hey, it's not hard to see what the Avs were valuing in him when they gave him the ELC.
Yeah.
And because ELCs are very valuable. You only have
50. Yep.
only 50 contracts in your organization. Doesn't matter if the contract slides or not.
Yep.
That's why the Sage Weinstein thing, like, it's just been sitting on their books for years, right?
Yep.
So giving a guy an ELC it's just a commitment saying we believe in this trajectory, and especially like multi-year ones. Like the 1 year ELC is basically just like
Cool.
whatever.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
year, yeah.
But with Cooper Gay, I think the size obviously is like, okay, he's 6'5", he's big, he's gonna go and get guys.
Yeah.
But then to see him actually how he does it and to see it in action was encouraging because, the feet are going to be a big question mark. The puck skill is going to be a question mark. I know I think he had 18 goals last year at St. Thomas.
I think it was, yeah.
So he had a good goal scoring season, but no playmaking ability. I mean, he had like 7 assists, something like that.
Like
he was a Cy Young guy.
25-point season with 19 goals.
And it makes you think, okay, what are we missing here? And then we see it up close and we're like, okay, I can see why the Avalanche like this.
Yep.
Because they are specifically looking for their Justin Brazeau type of guy.
Yep.
Big body, go to the net, play hard, understand who you are, play within yourself, but find a way to be effective while playing Avalanche hockey. Yep. And that's a tough job to do because the way that the Avalanche play is anathema to
you gotta have some pace, yeah.
to big, strong, like your traditional, like big and slow and physical and mean guys.
Yep.
So the Avalanche have been their chosen play style is such that it creates an additional challenge for that like archetype. And one day in Cooper Gang, good job.
And to be clear, it's about finding ways to be effective in a system with pace when you maybe don't have the pace. Because if you're big and you have the pace and you have the hands, congrats, you're an all-star.
Right. Oh, you're just good at everything?
Yeah.
You got it all? All right. Well, that's cool. You're Val Nichushkin. Like,
Yep.
Neat.
Awesome. We'll throw you in our top 6 at that point.
Yeah. Oh, you scored 25 goals and play 48 games a year.
Yep. Moving into some of the production of the night, some of the invites, Sarkinov and then also Desjardins. Sarkinov scored the first 2 goals for the Avs, one off of a very nice play from the rest of his line, including Desjardins, to get in deep, work the puck, and find him out front. And then scores the second goal with a rocket from out high on the blue line.
Just a rocket.
Yeah.
And it caught everybody by surprise because he looked like he was gathering the puck in, and he just shot it.
Yep. Let it rip.
And picked it over the corner, and that poor Utah goaltender just was like,
oh, no.
Yeah. You could tell he was cheating on it a little
Yeah.
bit because he was backing up, and there was no passing option, there was no danger, and he was already retreating a little bit into the net. He was deeper than he should have been. And you could tell he was reading, okay, this guy's going to dump it, or he's going to try and make a play, or he's going to pull up. He was not reading. He's just going to shoot it.
So how does that play for an invite guy like that on a team that we've talked about? Hey, maybe the Avs aren't necessarily looking for super high skill, super offensive flyers. Is that still a check mark in the book and a notch for an invite guy?
Absolutely. Especially he's 19 years old.
Yeah.
He's got a very limited background of production from Kazakhstan. That's a tough path.
Yep.
That is a tough path. So for him, coming over to North America and getting a look at 19 reminds me a little bit of Julius Sumpf, who the German player who was invited to the Avs when he was 19 and then had a good QMJHL career and I believe signed a deal or got drafted. I know he's in somebody's organization on I'm pretty sure on an NHL deal. So he reminded me a little bit of that, of Sumpf. And that's a good thing because that was a guy who was an up arrow player who just continued to get a little bit better every year. And I think if he can have another good game here, then we're not talking ELC, we're not talking contract, we're not going that far yet, right? But
this is step one.
This is a good guy that you could just follow. All right, we want to see what kind of season he has.
Walrus in the chat saying, is this going to be the year the Avs just find a whole bunch of randoms that are good to replenish the prospect pool? I mean, that's the dream, right? Like, that's what you're hoping for. That's why you do events like this, especially if you're an organization where the Avs are at in their cycle. Yeah, you bring guys to this and say, hey, show us something.
Yeah.
See if we can figure it out. Moving up the forward core a little bit, a couple of different guys to talk about. We mentioned him earlier. Probably not the best game of Max Curran's career. With that being said, he also set up the game-winning goal very nicely.
Yeah, and that was the guy that I felt he didn't handle the speed of the game.
Yep.
As well. He had a great year in the WHL.
Yeah, popped off and it got traded to a contender for this year.
Is set up to be successful.
Yeah.
And then should enter pro hockey next season.
Mm-hmm. So
End
still
of
young.
this season, whatever.
Yeah.
But good size. Won some crucial faceoffs for them in good situations where you're like, hey, you want it. This is an opportunity for you to separate a little bit. Especially with the bad
Avs
center depth.
ability.
Yeah, like their bad center
It's
depth.
Jack Drury. That's the guy who can win face.
Even at this, even on this roster,
sure. Even
Nikita
here,
Prishchepov and Christian Humphreys are playing down the middle for you, and I think that's a concern. Is that Curran is already vacillating between wing and center, and you don't.
The Avs need some guys that are actually just centers. Right. Yeah,
and so he needs to capitalize on opportunities, but he needs to use his size well, and he needs to be a good defensive player that can produce a little bit.
Yep.
Remember last year they draft 2 centers, Jake Fisher, Max Curran.
Yep.
Almost identical archetype, except Jake Fisher was the goal scorer, Max Curran was the playmaker and the passer.
Yep.
Funny that they were just like,
math adds up that way.
Can we just combine them?
Make one really good center.
Yeah, and then we'd have like Jordan Stahl, but they can't. So it's on Max Curran to be really
figures
good.
out the fusion dance
You're right.
soon here.
Yeah, need until that happens. Max Curran's got to do it on his own.
Yep.
Jake Fisher's not going to help him.
No,
they're competing in the organization for spot, and didn't love what we saw from Curran, and not a very good game, but a nice play at the end.
There were flashes. The nice play at the end. I think on the first power play, he had another nice setup net front. But yeah, there were some reads that you did not love from his game in this one.
There were. And also we're talking about he's not the shooter between them. It was later on in the third period, he had 2 really good scoring chances.
Yeah.
Misses wide both times.
Yeah. He's not the goal scorer there, probably.
Love the confidence. Love that he went for it. Didn't love how badly he missed the one-timer where I was like, geez, man.
His one pass to set up the game winner was to Christian Humphreys, 7th rounder for the Avs. Another guy that probably falls into the skill category. We talked to him after the game too, so let's see what he said about winning this one.
What was your overall assessment of the game tonight?
It was good. A lot faster. Obviously, I got 3 OHL preseason games before I came here, and the pace is definitely a lot faster. And I think that first period you kind of saw us a little bit of ping pong out there, and the second and third died out, and guys started to feel better. So just happy with the result, and I'm happy we got it done.
You did a couple cross checks in the neutral zone ahead of your goal. Can you walk me through how that came together?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a guy that obviously I'm a smaller guy, and I want to play kind of out of my frame a little bit. And I was trying to throw it around a little bit tonight, and obviously, especially at this level, I mean, you got to be able to protect pucks and kind of just be better all around. And obviously 2 penalties tonight, and a little bit frustrated out there, and kind of just a little bit of chit chat back and forth, but lucky to get that one.
You know, our family in the crowd looked like they were pretty excited after your goal.
Yeah. Mom and Dad came down, my grandpa and aunt and uncle. So it's good to have them all here today. And I don't get to see them too often. So anytime they're in the stands, it's good to see them.
This was your first rookie tournament. What was it like to put on the Avs sweater for the first time?
Yeah, it's surreal. I mean, you don't really take it for granted, and it was just special. I think obviously being with the group of guys we have, and you get such a short time to gel, and I think we've done a great job of it, and it's fun to be out there, and especially being with those guys from the jersey and just represent the club.
What kinds of things did you take away from tonight that you want to bring into the next game on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I think just my physical game, and obviously there's not as much time as juniors back at home, and kind of just rounding out my overall game. And I think we need a lot more scoring than tonight, but I think overall tonight we played a good, really defensive game, and we'll try to be a little more offense next game.
Awesome. Thanks, Christian.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
So Humphreys, obviously a guy still a ways away, transferred from college back to Canadian juniors halfway through last year and found success in Canadian juniors. So it does appear to be the right move for him, but
A concern.
Yeah, definitely.
He was real bad in 10 games at Michigan, and then he was pretty good in the OHL. But it goes to show you that the NCAA, it's a much older league than the juniors. There's a lot of 20-year-olds in there.
There's a lot of grinding in the NCAA compared to Canadian juniors.
Yeah, and sure. it was an interesting. I was glad that he did it so quickly because he said this isn't working, and instead of burning an entire year on it, he just
decision now.
Yeah, he just went and did so, and had a good year, and then he's set up for success again. And Humphreys, as you mentioned, a skilled guy. The skating's a big problem. He had a chance for a breakaway, and his feet completely failed him.
Similar to Jake Fisher in that regard. They're both similar players, I would say.
Yeah, Jake Fisher's just like, 5 or 6 inches larger? And
just a bigger dude, but also bad skating, goal-scoring type. Probably not quite as much puck skill as Humphreys, but...
I would say definitely not. Humphreys was a strange profile. Like, he's a hard-to-project profile. Because he's on the smaller side, he's a skill guy, but he's got bad feet, and he doesn't have any physicality to his game. So I know he was just talking about, I tried to mix it up a little bit more than normal, and it's like, okay, well, you need to needs
to go even further than that.
That needs to be your normal. That can't be that can't be a recognition of, well, I don't normally play like this. You need to, because there was a lot to like. There was something to take away. There's something to build from. If that's not normally the type of way that you're playing, you're not doing it right.
Yeah,
and I think that's the concern.
I 100% agree. There are a lot of players like him that end up being quad A hockey players in the NHL.
Absolutely.
Because they have the skill to be a good offensive punch, and then they get to the NHL and they just get run over.
Yeah, and the question I think on his upside is really going to come down to feet.
Yep, I would agree.
Just strictly on ice, it's going to come down to feet.
Yep. Should we keep moving up the list? Is there anyone you want to touch on before we get into Brindley's obviously the big name here?
I mean, there were. I think I kind of mentioned Desjardins. Like, there's some stuff to like there. I didn't notice Chase Bradley much at all.
He did make a nice outplay to get Prishchepov the empty netter.
Yeah,
that was
which I did not see because I'd already gone downstairs.
That was
not
the
realizing.
only time I really noticed him, but. Beyond that, that was it. Prishchepov, I guess, too, we can talk about. Yeah,
we should. I mean, he's one of the guys that everybody wants to talk about. And Prishchepov, he finishes with a goal and an assist, right? The goal is an empty netter. Yeah. And the assist was an accident.
Bounced off his knee.
Yeah. But I
here's what I liked about Prishchepov. They played him on the PK, and he had multiple good decisions.
At center.
Won some faceoffs. Not as many as Curran, but did win a couple of faceoffs on the penalty kill. Had a couple of very nice reads on the PK, was willing to play smart, get a puck in deep into the offensive zone. He turns around, gets it back to his defenseman, kills an extra 15 seconds of the penalty kill. There were some intelligence from his hockey game there. Did not see a lot from him in the offensive zone.
As always, though, like that's, and I'm always, when I watch Prishchepov, I think he's not small.
Yeah.
He's not big.
Yeah.
He's an average size hockey player, but he's skilled. He skates really well.
I would say he has enough skill.
Yeah.
And he skates well.
I mean, he's not, we're going to talk about Brindley in a sec.
Yeah, yes, we are.
That's a different level of skill. That's a different caliber.
Whole different conversation. Yeah.
But with Prishchepov, he's so smart.
Yep.
And he plays hard. He combines all of the elements of his game really well.
Mm-hmm.
How in the world is that guy 7th round pick?
Yeah, he does not look like a 7th round pick out there. I'd put it to you that way.
And
in his overage season,
I wish that there was more aggression to shoot. He passed up 2 really good opportunities to score goals.
Yep.
For either no upside play or really, really low chance of it being completed. One of them was he chipped a puck ahead and he had a clear shooting lane and he chips the puck ahead to a guy in the corner and nothing comes of it.
For a guy who feels like reads the ice pretty well defensively for a forward. Is it just lack of confidence in his
I think
shooting
it, I think
ability?
it really
Yeah.
is. It looks like a guy that just doesn't have the confidence to wire it and is just deferring.
Sure.
I don't think it's a skill thing. I don't think it's an intelligent thing. I think he's just not confident enough.
Okay.
And so that has to be his number one goal because I really, really liked his game again. And
Yeah.
this is
You would love for him to make a conversation of it for that 12, 13, 14
absolutely
forward.
absolutely just hang around as long as you can in camp.
Yeah.
Make them keep you. Make them make a decision. He has a lot of veteran competition, but there's a lot of there's the Zakhar Bartikovs, Matt Steinbergs. Like there's going to be some opportunity right away.
Yep.
That is an open door for him, and he needs, this is an advantage for him to be here because he gets to make a first impression before all those other guys do.
Right.
He made a good one today. It was another solid game.
Keep climbing those steps.
It starts the
Yeah.
good feels train earlier, and it's easier for him to get a little bit of confidence at something like this where the talent level isn't going to be nearly as high as it's going to be in Avalanche training camp where, hey, now you're going out there and you're taking a shift against Brock Nelson or Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar's out there. Like,
Oh, cool. You're on the PK unit. Here's Nathan McKinnon. in
Yeah,
your face.
and it was really important that he played well at center because if he can add
if
that
you can
into
play
his game,
center, opportunities open quickly for you in Colorado.
yeah, there's a lot of wing depth in every organization. It's not hard to find.
Yep.
Especially for like low end, like we're just fighting for
Bottom six
for some,
typey guys.
jogging for position here. And with Prishchepov, if he can add that element, if he can play some center, he gives himself a much better chance to make an impact.
If you can play center effectively, I think it's not unreasonable for him to earn the potential first call-up spot. I don't know that he makes the roster, but
that's rich for me, but it's a good start.
And, first center call-up, which the Avs could just decide to play wingers at center, as they regularly do.
Right. I mean, right now you're like, who is like Parker Kelly, Zakhar Bartikov, Ivan. Those are all guys that you're like, well, we know Parker Kelly's not a good NHL center.
Yeah.
And we know Ivan was better at the wing than at center. And so you're like, okay, like this is where there's clear path for them. And I really appreciate that the Avs were willing to push Prishchepov here and say, we're going to take this chance. We want to see what he can do.
And it was fine.
Yeah. Not great.
Fine.
Not overwhelming.
Solidly
but
fine.
There were things that I liked. Gavin Brindley was clearly by far the best player in this game.
On either team. It was not close. You
Yeah.
could see he was reading the game, pacing the game, playing the game on a higher level than pretty much everyone else out on the ice. And not just, hey, I'm out here dangling guys on offense, which he was doing, but there was also quality defensive positioning, engaging in plays. It wasn't just a guy styling. It was a guy working hard the entire game.
Yeah. And when he made the few times that he would turn the puck over and made a poor play, you could see the jet engine kick
He
in.
immediately turns around and says, this is not happening.
Yeah, and he gets back and he creates a problem in the neutral zone.
Yeah.
Everything that he's been advertised to be.
Yep.
The work rate was really high. He engaged. He got in there, got his nose dirty physically, got mashed right up against the boards, just 3 feet from me. And
Spins off it and creates a play.
he was just like sitting there. This dude's like pushing him up against the wall. And Brindley was just like sitting there. He's not mad. He's not yelling or anything. He gets up, gives the guy a little tap, and then skates away. And I was like, I love this kid. This is so competitive, right?
The game-tying goal is created entirely by him. He
Yeah.
reads a play in the neutral zone, picks the puck off, gains the zone, tries a dangle that semi-works, but the puck goes to the corner, wins the race to the puck, and then wins a board battle to find space. Throws not the best pass in the world to Prishchepov, but gets a fortunate bounce, and Behrens is able to bury it. And with that skill level in all three zones for him, not just, okay, he has offensive ability in the zone. He understands how to get through the neutral zone, and he can be, I don't want to say he's amazing defensively. The size is always going to show some limitations for him, but
It's the boards that he's going to struggle.
Right, but he's willing to engage. He understands how to read the ice defensively. Am I going to say he's NHL ready off of one rookie game? No, but I will say I believe he's beyond the level of this rookie face-off.
Yeah, just the maturity. It's something also Mark Letestu talked about. You could tell. Like this guy, there aren't a lot of guys here that have played a lot in the AHL. Usually they look a little bit different, and you
they
could
know
say
what it takes.
You see Prishchepov showed out a little bit.
Yep.
You see Brindley,
Yep.
as my mind goes blank. Yeah, Gavin Brindley
was clearly just understood things on another level.
Yeah, and not just the offensive stuff. Blocks a shot on the PK.
Yep.
Gets pucks out. Like made multiple really quality plays on the penalty kill. And what was it? The second or third period, I turned to you and was like,
Yeah. And
he's doing it, man. This is what you need to see.
I think it's important to note, and I say this every year about somebody, if you can play on the PK, they'll find room for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a huge feather in your cap if you are a guy battling for a bottom six spot, which whatever we believe Brindley's ceiling is, if he is going to make the NHL this year, it's going to be in a bottom six role.
Yeah.
If you can play on the PK, they can give you minutes. They can find ways to get you into the lineup.
Yeah, and he's also going to be a guy that is going to be justifiable in putting on a second power play unit.
Yeah.
And so if he can add a PK layer, and he's a decent player there as well. They see what they have. They like what they see. Okay. Now he's playing on both special teams units for you. Now, and he's playing at 5v5. Now you're talking about him like a genuine middle six player. This isn't like a fourth line plug and play wing who's going to play 8 minutes for you. This is a guy that could play 9 minutes at even strength, and he's going to play a minute on the power play, a minute on the PK. That's really valuable.
Even if it is, the Avs are often fond of playing that 12th forward 5-6 minutes a night just to protect them, and they like going with their big guys. How you get out of that trap is play on special teams.
Yeah.
You earn those couple extra minutes. You play well there, you earn a couple extra minutes at 5-on-5, and it builds you into a full-fledged NHL player.
And when you're on the ice a lot, it's easier to be into a consistent rhythm. And, it just kind of, it's a positive feedback loop where the next thing you know.
Exactly.
Congrats. You're playing next to Ross Colton and Jack Drury on Colorado's third line.
Yep. All right, we do have the Letestu interview that AJ mentioned. Technically his first game coached as part of the Avs organization.
Yep.
Let's hear what he had to say about the rookies.
What do you think of the performance tonight? Seemed like a lot of energy from your squad there.
Yeah, and I think that's going to happen. All the summer training, all the skates, everything builds up to that moment. So I thought it was channeled properly, especially early. You try and give them a little bit of system work, just to hopefully they have a little scaffolding, for the way they're going to play. But overall, I thought they channeled it really well. Obviously got the result early on with some goals, and the guys got into it, and they could take a deep breath. So outstanding effort all the way through the game.
Coach, welcome to Colorado. What was tonight like for you?
That's an interesting one. I'm probably going to reflect on a little bit later, to be honest. It was just nice to be back on the ice, probably similar to the boys. You think about that first speech, the way you're going to call lines, and then finally just get into the game and you get going. So it was obviously enjoy the result, and obviously the effort from the guys, which is probably more important, get them rewarded for their work.
A lot of high-end prospects on the Utah side. What was the key to controlling some of that talent?
Yeah, honestly, we didn't talk about it much. We just talked about our competition level and setting a tone. The expectations here, regardless of regular season, Eagles, Avalanche, prospect tournament, the expectations here are to win. And a lot of these young men are going to head on to training camp where they're going to have to compete against better players. So credit to them. They took that challenge head on and passed it.
Were there any standouts in particular for you?
Oh, of course, and a lot of really good efforts. Sharky, Sarkinov with a couple goals early on, and actually that line with Desjardins, Romeo, early on, I think kind of buoyed us. And I think it's special for somebody like Behrens, a year off to come in with a big goal. You're just happy for that, all the work that he's gone into. And then you're going down to 5 defensemen and everybody stepping up like that. So there's a ton of good efforts. And I think when you win hockey games, that's usually the way.
Do you have an update on latest funk?
Yeah, just upper body stuff. He's going to get with the docs and be reevaluated. It's unfortunate. You get into a training camp, you get hurt so early, but he's a young kid. He's got to have a lot of these games ahead of him.
Just having a workout where you were reunited with Gavin Brindley after coaching him last year. How did you see his first year as pro going and where he can improve coming into the second year?
Yeah, well, I think he took a great step tonight. I thought he was one of the best players at all times. He looked like a player that had played a first-year pro. He looked very comfortable. You know, and I think both of us have kind of become comfort blankets for each other. You know, we can go to each other, whether it's drills and practice or the way I approach things on the bench. There's a little bit of familiarity, and sometimes that helps when you're changing places. So for the both of us, I thought it was a good start. But for Gavin in particular, going into year 2, I think this was a good first step. You know, being a leader amongst his peers at his age. And I thought he proved that he belongs at main camp with the main roster.
What was it like watching him last year? I mean, he's a big prospect. He was the Big Ten Player of the Year, and then he probably struggled way more than he expected to in his first year. Just what was it like watching him try to navigate that?
Yeah, it's a hard league. The American Hockey League is a really tough league. And you're actually encouraged by some of the adversity, that it doesn't go so well all the time. So what I've seen Gavin have to go through where, you know, it didn't go as well as he wanted to. He didn't score as many points. It wasn't like being at Michigan. You can tell he put the work in the summer. Didn't pout. He knew exactly what he had to do to get better. And I thought some of that competition level, strength on puck, the speed, the darting in and out, I thought I've seen it tonight more often. So he's taken that challenge, made the adjustments to have a better year this year.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
DNVR.com, where the conversation will continue. Look, fun way to start, ultimately. I don't know that we have too much more to break down. Again, fun to dig into these guys. AJ and I love that type of stuff, but it is still a rookie face-off game. Don't overthink it.
Like, it's fine to overreact to one day just because it's the first day.
Yeah.
And it's like, this will be fun. You know, the way that we always talk about the first 10 games of the NHL season get significantly overblown because everybody's like, oh, well, Ross Colton leads the NHL in goals. This is his breakout. And then,
he
3
plays
goals
20
in 35
games without
games.
a point.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just kind of how it goes. You know, from our chair, it's
something to get hype about.
This is the first thing that we get to talk about, so let's just overreact.
Let's
to it.
dig in deep. That's what we do.
What's the fun in being calm and measured about it on day 1? Wait till the third day of training camp for me to be like that guy. Like even me, like Captain Fun Hater over here is gonna be like, it was a good time. It was a good game, and the Avs won, and their best players played really well, and
all dubs.
Yeah.
Dr. Dubs even.
Absolutely. First Dr. Dubs of the season. We don't have any shots, but
I mean, I see Max in the chat as part of the supporters club. He's got the emoji.
That's right.
Give us a Dr. Dubs emoji at least.
That's you know, put it in the bank. We owe you a Dr. Dubs shot on a show at some point.
There you go. You heard it here first. Also, great time to become a supporter.
We're in Dr. Dubs debt.
Dr. Dubs
on
debt.
day 1.
The triple D. Great time to become a supporter. Join us, the Supporters Club. It's a way to help support us. You also get access to emojis. So when we're doing real post games, you can throw some emojis in the chat. If enough of you sign up, we get even more emojis. So we can send a bunch. There you go. The NVR Sports Tiff throwing out the Dr. Dubs emoji out there. It's a fun way to do it. Also, we're going to have some, fun behind the scenes content. I think my vlog for the rookie camp might end up going on there as supporters content if you want to see us hanging out in the background, which, by the way, shout out to the South Suburban staff and our boy Bill for hooking us up. We get the on-site thing here. An amazing setup out here for us, and we owe them a bunch. They're awesome people. We'll be on-site for training camp as well. So, we're coming to you right from the action. We appreciate all of that. Last thing, Big Brothers Big Sisters month still going on here in September. If you want to become a big, now's a great time to do that. You can help support the kids, or if you just want to donate some money on the sidebar here on YouTube, you can donate a few bucks. There's also a link to the website down in the description if you want to go through it that way. Support a great cause. Jump in with Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Final thoughts on the day, AJ.
It's a day of improvement for everybody. I moved the mic in that Letestu interview.
We're all growing.
Right at the end, it was like, I was like, I just figured it out. So, and I did make the Rockies win. You guys are all welcome.
Confirmed.
So, it's a good day of improvement for everybody. Something to build off of. Positive feels. As we always say at these things, the outcome doesn't really matter, but it's always better to win than lose.
Confirmed. Losing is never better than winning.
Also, this setup is so, it feels like we're college basketball players at the NCAA tournament.
We're at the
sitting
at
up
the desk.
at the podium and sitting here. I'm all hunched over and I'm like, oh, this is kind of uncomfortable. But I'm like, I have to do this for an hour, and I could have
it.
just raised the microphone. So that's
Stop coming up smarts here. All right, we don't need intelligence.
No, that's
like
the
this.
next. That's the next area of improvement for me. Understand the surroundings a little bit better.
All right, coachable. Going down
That's-
on AJ's resume.
That's right, coachable.
We're going to get out of here for the night. We hope you all enjoyed. Many more shows to come. We're off tomorrow, but we'll be live post-game for Sunday's game, which is in the afternoon. So maybe a little bit more of a reasonable time for us. But we'll see you then. This has been the DNVR Avalanche podcast, and we will talk to you on the next one.
We all silly like the mayor.